Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas! In this video I'll be showing you a Santa Claus build in Baldur's Gate 3. Kris Kringle, Saint Nick, whatever you want to call him, this build is going to be the best setup for this. We're using the College of Winter Spirit Bard. I know I've posted a few videos regarding this subclass mod that I made, but I want to talk about it before the holiday season is over. This is actually the perfect build for Santa Claus. This is going to be based on the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer version of Santa Claus here, who is a bard. He literally shows up to tell Donner, hey, your son's a freak, I'm great, I'm Santa Claus. And then he literally has all the elves talking about how they're devoted to Santa Claus while he's sitting there looking so angry to be there. And then after they sing, he's like, man, that sucked. And then whenever he realizes that Rudolph is useful to him, he's like, oh, Rudolph, come help a man out. So who better to play him than Gale? So yeah, I used the Origin Mirror Unlocked here to recreate Gale as Santa Claus. And I must say, he actually does look like a real Santa Claus if you put the beard. There's the only amount of using the Origin Mirror Unlocked to put a base game beard on him. But we're going to be playing as a bard here. This is the subclass to get this with. And at level 3, we get to choose the subclass. We'll be taking Vicious Mockery, Mage Hand. For the spells, I select at level 1. Healing Word, Distant Whispers, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and Thunder Wave. And for our ability score, we'll go with 16 Dexterity and Charisma, 14 Constitution, and 10 Intelligence and Wisdom. At level 2, we get our Song of Rest and the Jack of All Trades. We'll then go ahead with something like Long Strider to buff up our movement speed. We, at level 3, get to take our subclass, the College of Winter Spirit. I've done other videos talking about this, but we get a bonus action Snowball and Winter's Wit here, which is like Vicious Mockery, dealing cold damage. We also get an Ice Cat that we can select at level 1. Icy Missile, setting up surfaces, Chromatic Orb to use one of the different passives that we have there, and Conjure Cranberry Juice. This will give you 4 water bottles and 4 cranberries, which are healing items that I made for this. And since we're Santa Claus for our Winter's Harmony passive, we're going to take the Jolly Infusement because we're full of jolly good vibes. We'll also then take the Hold Person spell there. Gil already knows this because he's a wizard, so that's why it's selected like yellow. And Terra can accompany us, but we can summon in Catsicle, the next best thing. A little Icy Cat here that can do a little claw attack, do a bit of damage. And at level 4, we get our Winter's Balance here, which lets us and our allies protect ourselves from the difficult terrain, so we don't slow down and we don't slip and fall. It's great. We also have the Ice Dog, Freezing Ray, and Ice Blades here, which gives you unique weapon attacks at level 4 here. And then we also get our Minor Illusion spell, and we can take a cantrip, and we can take Crown of Madness or Invisibility. And for the second passive, we're going to go with the Holly Infusement there. First feat we'll select is a Charisma increase or the Alert feat. Both of these are great. As we get to level 5, we get our Sculpt spells. We also get we can summon in an Owlbear Cub, Ice Beam, and Ice Ball. We also get some other spells with things like Glyph of Warding here, which is going to set up, if you take the Elemental Harmony here, this can give us elemental damage on our blade, so that's where we want to take that. We'll then take the Chilling Feedback, which if an attacker misses us, we can chill them, and when they're chilled, they're going to take extra cold damage. We also get an extra attack at level 6, and another Winter's Harmony passive here. We're going to take the Evergreen Sting, and then we're going to go ahead with the Plant Growth spell here, because that's concentration-free crowd control, which is great to have. Level 7 gives us Aurora Smite, and we also get to summon Ice Skeletons, the Ice Storm, and the Sleet Storm spells here. And in addition to this, we'll take Greater Invisibility, because Santa Claus is very stealthy. And we get more passives. My recommendation is Bite of the Ballad here, giving Encrusted with Frost when we deal cold damage, potentially. It's really great. We also get Aurora's Guided Arrow here, which allows us to attack, do some trick shots, Ice Bow, and to summon Ice Bear. We also get the we can take the Confusion spell there, and we get more passive choice. I like the Ice Veil Solace there, or the Aurora's Cadence. Can be nice for the additional bless on the allies. Ice Bite is never a bad choice though, because you can always use more critical hit chance. We'll then take for our next feat the Alert feat. +5 to Initiative is always a great choice too, because that just means we go first and we can take out enemies in the load order. We'll then go ahead with, we get the Snow Arrow here, which is like a lightning arrow, but it does cold damage and leaves a surface. And we get Cone of Cold, which is great. We then also get things like Hold Monster and Dominate Person. I like Hold Monster at this level. And we get more passives, which I'd recommend grabbing Rhinebrand here, which gives you Encrusted with Frost on our attacks there. Level 10 is nice because we get our Magical Secrets. And this lets us do a lot of different stuff and build around. We'll also take Dominate Person here. Now, my thoughts are we're going to take Command for this because Santa's commanding his elves, and we're not multi-class, and I did a few multi-classes with Command. I love this spell in the Bard, so we're going to take that. And you can also take a Conjure Elemental for a Water Elemental to set up your attacks. Counter Spell is always a good one to shut down. And Spirit Guardians, these are our little elves. We're going to go with Command and Spirit Guardians. I think this is the most Santa-esque setup for this build, so that's what we're rolling with. We'll also take Frosty Finale here, which can possibly inflict chilled on cold damage. And then we'll also take another skill proficiency in Intimidation and Persuasion there, just to round our character out a little bit more when they're talking to characters. At level 11, we get Chain Ice Beam, great spell, and Old Luke's Freezing Sphere. Both are powerful, as you can imagine. Eye Bite, and then we'll take here. Virtuoso's Aim can give you advantage on wet targets, which is really nice, but I really like Ice Wind Resonance, giving a reverberation on spell attacks. Reverberation gives them negatives to their dexterity saves, so that they're more likely to slip on ice. And at level 12, we get to Summon Snowman, which is the summon we'll be using, and Wall of Ice, which is a good spell after patch 8 fixed how it works. We'll then take Otto's Irresistible Dance for our final spell, and for the final passive, Ice Bite can be good if you want to increase our overall critical hit chance, but you can also go with some of the more healing options if you wanted to. This has level 20 support, which adds in a bunch more summons, which is really fun to play around with, but I'm going to keep it level 12 for this. Short on time for the holidays, unfortunately. I still want to make a few videos just to get stuff out. And we'll take Charisma up to 20 here. In my previous builds, I actually didn't show off any gear options here, but I will for this one. So Hood of the Weave, great for spell casting. And we're going with the Robe of the Weave, just because this gives us the most Santa-looking appearance. The Scarlet Red and White dye does this perfectly, and that's available in the base game, no mods required. Now, I also like to throw on the Illuminous Gloves here for Radiating Orbs and Radiant damage, because we're going to throw on the Coruscation Ring for further Radiating Orbs, and the Callous Glow Ring. This is actually the same ability I used for the Holly and Jolly infusement, so further adding 2 points of Radiant damage, which procs all of our gear. And then that gear will proc our Boots of Stormy Clamor, which gives reverberation. And yeah, this basically makes the enemies will be slipping and falling often or missing us with our attacks. And then also have the Cloak Protection on. The Duelist Prerogative is nice, but this I made some weapons for, so I actually like using the weapons because I feel very thematic for this. So there's an Ice Bow there, which does give you the light, which will set up the gear here. And then we also have the Ice Blades here, so you can summon these in. And if you have a weapon already in your hand, you may not have it. It'll appear in your inventory, and then you can just go ahead and put it on there. If you don't have any items in your hand, you'll actually summon in both of them, but it's just a weird limitation if you're already using an item and summoning in two. And we're going to bring in the Summon Snowman here. This is a genie that I redesigned, gave a cool beard, made him iced out here, and I also made some special spells. He gets the Snow Surge ability there, and also Thunder Wave, so you can push enemies back. And if you freeze them, he'll deal a little extra damage to them, so... Jingle, 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 I am old Kris Kringle. Now, the first thing I like to do anytime that we're playing as a spellcaster is set up a terrain. So you got Ice Storm, you got Luke's Freezing Sphere. Spear Guardian is also really great here, so I'm actually going to pop that down because that's going to be our little elves protecting us and setting up our debuffs to protect our team with. So yeah, you can just run around. 6 damage isn't much in the grand scheme of things, but it's a little bit extra damage, and since we're illuminating them, we can actually, weirdly, it brought in more people into this fight. But the thing is, when we're moving around here, we're actually going to be further applying Radiating Orbs. We apply Chilled there, which further stacked Reverberation. It's okay to eat some opportunity attacks here and there, but you can see we're actually doing a pretty good amount of damage. Now, the great thing is we can actually drop these spells down on top of us because we got the sculpting spells, so that can be kind of nice because sometimes there's just a area where you're actually able to hit like 4 enemies at once, so you can just drop that down like that. I forgot to put the passive on. There's a passive that actually makes it so you don't slip on ice, and I completely forgot, so I just wiped myself out there. The genie doesn't have to worry about that though, because his attack, he will create ice surfaces with the snowstorm there, or snow surge, which creates that and pushes enemies back. It's better to use that in most situations unless Thunder Wave is going to give the double damage. Yeah, poor Santa Claus. Oh my goodness, he's getting beat up. Yeah, I completely forgot. There is a ability to activate. I literally said in a previous video earlier today that you should always use that, and then I failed the test. Another thing, I actually made the bow called Guide My Slay here. It just, slay spelled like taking someone out. I thought it was funny. So yeah, don't forget to put on Winter's Balance or else you'll be knocked over just like that. So now we have anti-slip on, which is great. Now we're actually protected. I'm actually just going to launch an Luke's Freezing Sphere right at, I guess this enemy... Actually, the nice thing about Luke's Freezing Sphere is you can just place it anywheres, and it's going to have an effect if it has the line of sight on enemies. We actually can't get that other target over there, so I'm just going to drop it right here. If I didn't get counterspelled, that would have been perfect. That ate up my level 6 spell slot, unfortunately, so yeah, now we don't get an option there, but I'm just going to go with... actually an Ice Beam, maybe leveled up, upcasted Ice Beam. Sometimes you can get multiple targets, no we can't. Yeah, we'll just drop an Ice Ball there. Not ideal, but it is what it is. We set up surfaces with that, but we also apply Encrust with Frost and Radiating Orb, so we're great at debuffing enemies there too, alongside that. And then we have our bonus action, Snowball or Winter's Wit. I'm going to throw a Snowball at this target here, potentially taking them out. Boom. Yeah, it was just enough to wipe them out. Perfect. And We'll take the genie here with the pushback. Always fun if you can get a pushback into like a river and knock them out. Yeah, that was enough to take him out perfect. Ooh, Santa's in rough shape here. Actually getting beat up pretty bad. Aurora's guided arrow is great for this. I need this target done and gone. This curves the arrow around. You can hit targets a little bit easier than you normally would be able to. That didn't work, but you also have things like arrow of many targets, which is great because these can chain around, and if we got any extra benefits, it's going to apply them all to enemies, multiple enemies at a time. It also stacks radiating orbs on our attacks to every enemy that you see, so that's going to be really good. I have disadvantage on the attack, but that's fine. We were actually able to spread it between all three of them there. That was good, and now we just have a bonus action ability left. Snowball is really great because this is just sometimes enough to take out a target. We had advantage against that target. Perfect. And the genie can also teleport, or snowman I should say. The snowman can teleport, and what's great about that is his pushback is sometimes, it's pretty large. I made it funny so that you could launch people like that off of ledges and also set up difficult terrain while doing so. And we'll use freezing right here with the unique VFX, big booming ice attacks there, and we're actually able to set up a huge area of effects. There's so much water on the ground there, it's perfect. And we applied 8 stacks of radiating orbs and 6 stacks of encrusted with frost, so that's actually really nice. We also have our icy missiles here, which are good too, because these just give us multiple that we can throw around and set up surfaces with. I made the more you shoot off, give more surfaces there, but there it is. That's a pretty powerful setup for the College of Winter Spirit. Go download this right away. I really, really would appreciate it, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. This is the perfect Santa Claus build, though, and I hope you guys all have a very happy and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year to you and your families. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed this. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I may do another mod, make another mod subclass next holiday season. I already have an idea in my mind, but let me know what you'd like to see, and we'll catch you all in the next one.